Remember A-Bear, stop in and see them. Highway 73 and in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. They got a great freezer of selection. Remember this week, if you're looking to just throw something into the oven and get it moving, hour and a half there. Everybody's going to eat. Stop into A-Bear's. A-Bear's Specialty Meats. You can find them online, all over Facebook, all over social media. It is good to be back here in South Louisiana. It's good to be home. When we are here, we hang out with our friends, and one of them just walked in. Our guy, Rohan Davey, is here after Saturday, and there's a lot to talk about. Missed you out in Cali, bro. The Cali life suits us well. The Cali life is made for Joe and Ro, as it was a great trip. Everybody was getting their Rohan on out in LSU, out in LA. Good to see you, baby. How was your week? You did some 7-on-7 this week, huh?
Man, we did a little bit of everything this week, especially based on what was going on here and no lights and stuff like that. So it was a good week, except for the end of the week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the game was the worst part of the trip for LSU. Where do you start, Ro? I banged a little bit on the public relations of LSU football. In my opinion, is off from the head coaching standpoint. When you're walking into the game and you're going back and forth with the fans, some of the pictures that are out with the head coach just sends the wrong message. And then your team goes in there and you look unprepared, and a lot of the things that haunted you from last season still seem evident. I thought it was as bad as an opening week show as LSU could have probably put out there, but it is only one game, and you got to just kind of flush it and move on. What is your takeaway of where LSU is coming out of week one, and what was your assessment of watching them play?
Oh man, one word: embarrassing. I mean, we talked about it. I knew UCLA wasn't a cupcake team. We knew that they were a formidable opponent, especially because we didn't do anything last year. So everything coming into this first game should have been a prove it, business-like mentality. I love the fact that how when they left here with the hurricane and went to Houston, that made me think that they was in that mode of, okay, we're trying to, get in this bubble type of thing and just take care of business, come back and then, assess what went on here, lights back on, that type of thing. But man, you alluded to it a little bit ago, the pictures and it was kind of like a ticker tape parade for Coach. And it was just, it wasn't the message, I think, that you want to send at the beginning of the season when you have so much to prove. You have so much on the line. You have a new quarterback. You have shuffling at the offensive line. You have, it's just so much. So the focus for me wasn't there all the way around, because it's not like we weren't in the football game and we could not have done a couple things different coachingly to propel us to a victory. Needless to say, if it wasn't a good showing or not, games like that is for teams. You have to win a game like that if you're trying to rebound. Yeah, you have to go through that first hard one. Now, it's all the things are there. They played a game before. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we traveled. All that's there. Understand all that, but it's football. It's football. Them going to Houston didn't do anything from how they performed Saturday. It didn't change anything in the coach's game plan from what they decided to do from going to Houston to getting there. So for me, man, it was a total meltdown from the coaches. It was you've always heard me talk when at the beginning of the season, it's always a couple games coaches could win and are responsible
2 or 3
for.
games a season, you say?
And the first one is absolutely it. Mm-hmm. That's their biggest
impact
test. That the first game, because that's when you really got to coach, man, especially when you going up against a team that's a Chip Kelly ready team. Chip Kelly out-coached us. Yeah. Period. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Chip Kelly did things to put us in certain formations defensively that
just exposed them.
It exposed them, but it just shows so much confusion. It created so much. But that's what you get when you And I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm using it as a coaching point that these coaches should have adjusted in some way to get, especially offensively, get out this 3-by-1. We ran 3-by-1 the whole damn game. Get out 3-by-1 formation. I don't care if you put Besh on the end and put 2. It's still 3-by-1. It's still the same thing you trying to create. Give me something else. Everybody keep talking about how we couldn't run the ball and we didn't run the ball. Where was the effort to run the football?
Or the commitment
that
to it.
should have been what we should, get the ball out this dude's hands quick and pound. It don't matter if you're just getting 2. It don't matter if you're just getting 3. Pound, because you keep it honest. They blitzed this boy 70% of the game, man. Every third down, he was getting pressure. We talk about the line not holding up. In my opinion, the line wasn't great, but the line wasn't terrible. That's what I'm saying. The line would do things to slow him down. Give me a screen. Give me this. Give me that. Give me something to slow these guys down. If all you're going to do is stand 3-by-1, drop back, and sling it, then give me something else. Got to give me something else. Give me a bubble. Give me something that's a semblance of a run play to try to get these guys in the flow of the game. I mean, when little cracks and little holes was there, Todd David Price hit the hole.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lack of not running hard. It was a lack of not having nowhere to go. We weren't getting any push. I honestly say that we weren't getting any push. But our picking up the blitz and the other thing was, man, we got to know where we're going with the blitz. I was a young quarterback. Max is a young quarterback. That's the hardest thing for us to grasp.
When do you recognize that? When you pre-snap or? It
has to be pre-snap. It has to be pre-snap. You have to see him moving. You have to go over your keys. You have to see that safety backed up. You have to see the linebacker backed up by that safety and see him low and creeping in. But it was just not going to the right side. These guys were running the side adjustments. They was running the side adjustments, coming off, going to the flat. They was running. They just weren't getting it. They just weren't. It just wasn't coming out quick enough for the side adjust. Even the pass, the third down to Besh, that was high. That should have went straight in the flat to 27. Might have been a bang, but it would have been right at the sticks for the first down. And those are little things in the process for a young Max that he's going to have to get to. I'm sure that's one of the things the coaches are pointing out to him. Don't worry about the big play. Let's do the little things. It's the little things we didn't do that cost us this football game. Because, we're right up in the football game all the way until it was in the third. So it wasn't like we weren't in it. It's just coaches had to do some things differently, man, to put these guys in a better position to finish. It wasn't a lack of these guys. Now, sometimes it was a lack of effort. We did have effort issues at times and guys thinking that, oh, he's going to make the tackle. Don't come over and make the tackle. Don't come over as fast. Now he breaks the tackle. Now we have to speed up again. So we have to definitely, when you come out of training camp, I know it sounds like an excuse, but tackling is always an issue.
Yeah.
Run fits are always an issue. That's what you saw yesterday from those guys. Those guys on defense not trusting the other guy to make the play, not trusting the linebacker to come down in that B gap and fill that B gap correctly. Everybody was trying to make the play. And when you try to make the play, 24 skips out the back door. You know what I mean? So that's what was going on. Everybody was like on Velcro on defense, stuck to their guys, not getting off of guys. It was, defensive backs running into each other, seeing it late, coming down late. It's still, in my opinion, it wasn't what you saw last year. Even though it was terrible, it's still, you didn't see guys running free. You seen guys chasing.
Yeah.
So that means late recognition. That means late getting a play. That means late seeing it, late communication, not in position, bad angles. Even on Stingley's play when he came up fast and got the tackle and it was like his first tackle again, he was out of position. It was a good tackle because he's a hell of an athlete, but his leverage was all whack. You know what I mean? So it was just all those little things, man, that contributed to this terrible, terrible debacle. And the coaches are at the heart.
Explain to you were a football genius. Tyrann Mathieu is a football genius. He tweeted out Saturday night that LSU, he saw collectively, didn't win 5 plays because UCLA owned the leverage all night.
All night.
To the football fan out there that may not understand. What is he saying?
What he's saying is everywhere that UCLA wanted to go with the football, running the football, just think about the 75-yard touchdown play. The play action pass. If you watch that play from the back, 10 guys went with the running back. 10 guys took 3 steps to
and they're being
my
controlled
left, their
there.
Right. They take, and once they go there,
you're dead.
Now you're dead. That's right. Because all the line wants to do in the running scheme that Chip Kelly has is they don't care where the defensive line goes. The offensive linemen do not care where the defensive line goes. They don't care if they go right. They don't care if they go left. All their job is to do is wherever they step, wherever they want to go, you latch on and you take them there. Wherever, if he want to run left, let him run left. Take him left. It's on the back to see the cutback. It's on the back to find the lane. And he did an excellent job because we were out of position. So if my nose tackle is responsible for the A gap, which is right over the center, right where you get the ball. Now my middle linebacker may be responsible for filling this B or C gap, depending on what they have going on outside. Well, while they were running so successfully, even if it was 5 yards, 24, and then now you bring that into we're not tackling well. So we're not hitting our run fits. We're not being physical on our run fits because we're hesitating on where to go. So now we're taking that false step, and them guys are getting up in there, man, and they're locking it. Yeah, they locking it. It was one play I could have ran through there backwards. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was just those, and like to your point, all of that can be fixed. The positive, all of that could be fixed. It was just an embarrassing effort on the part of the coaches, in my opinion, to not do anything else to change the trajectory, and I'm speaking offensively, of what was going to happen. Stay the same thing. See, we did try to do, but we never just pound. I mean, all else fails. Run the ball down their throat, man. Yeah. This guy, you saw when Max got the ball out of his hands quick to these guys. You got explosive guys on the outside. I don't care what anybody says. These guys are explosive. I know Boutique got most of the looks, but Jenkins was explosive. Palmer is explosive. These guys are explosive football players. Get the ball in their hands quick, man, and let them work. Yeah.
What is the most concerning thing you saw?
Honestly,
like you mentioned the run fits and that stuff can be fixed.
But defensively, yeah, that could be fixed. I think that for me watching, because I definitely watch it through a quarterback's eyes and where young Max is right now, I think that he has to just hone in on the little details of the passing game. And when I say that, I mean he did a fantastic job of getting the ball out of his hands quick when everything was good. What he needs to do is because they're going to blitz him. That's going to be the thing with him now, because they saw that he wasn't going to the right side on the side of this. That could be fixed. But you also saw happy feet at times when and I know the blitz was coming. He's getting blitzed all night, and that's what happens. And if I was in his position, when I was in his position, I'd have been the same way.
Absolutely.
You know, trying to get the hell out of there.
Just spooked.
Absolutely.
I mean, you didn't know where it was coming from.
That's what they tried. That was the point. Yeah. That was the whole point.
It's rattling.
Yeah, the whole point. It was times they walked everybody up on the line of scrimmage 6-7 times. The offensive line, that's that Joe Lee Dunn Mississippi State junk where everybody's come up on the line of scrimmage.
Fred
and now,
Smoot.
Yeah, you don't know who's coming. So he's out there trying to declare a mic, identifying and sliding protection, and so is the center. Well, you got 7-8 guys on the line of scrimmage. Guys are coming, backing out. It's all that for a young quarterback, Chip Kelly they did a really good job. Yeah. They had a really good game plan and they executed it really well.
I knew he was in trouble when he threw the ball behind his back. I was thinking he's rattled. He's freaking out.
Yeah, that was one of those plays that you don't want to see, but you do see it sometimes from a young quarterback. I remember a time when I played, I think somebody swung me around and I threw it to the sideline. And I actually saw the dude, though, the first time they swung me around. I knew he was standing there. Where he is. I kind of knew, but I didn't know I was going to get it to him, but I knew I was going to throw it hard in that direction and hopefully go over his head or he'd catch it. But I knew somebody was over there. Right. You know what I mean?
I saw a person. Just as long as Saban didn't catch it.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But he just got to do the little things, man. Get the ball out on the right side for the side adjust. Come out. Whenever you on your first play, take your first read, your reads there, hit it. Don't pass up an open guy to try to get the big play. You know, just those type of things. And I think he's going to be fine. He's going to turn out to be a solid quarterback.
What's the pressure of a first time play caller like? I mean, what is doing that for the first time?
Well, it would have helped to have a cupcake under your belt. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him is also trying to figure out, because it's for him too, you know, trying to figure out what these guys, you kind of know what they do well, but you haven't seen them in this live situation, in the game situation. So it's totally different. It's just like when you like, for me, you guys be like, oh, Ro don't practice good, but he plays raw. Yeah. So you have guys like that too.
That was a scouting report.
You got guys like that too that practice well but don't play good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they finding all that out. It's still a new coaching staff. They all in. Durante trying to find, and I'm not making excuses for none of them.
Yeah.
But they all trying to figure it out too, to be fair. And that wasn't the right team to try to figure it out about, and it wasn't the right coach to try to figure it out against.
Yeah.
Because Chip Kelly, say what they want, Chip Kelly's a monster when it comes to offensive personnel and moving and scheming, man.
He's like a basketball coach where he finds your weakness and he attacks your ass.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not letting up. He is not letting up. That's what I thought was most impressive, was his patience, and then he just pounded them.
Yeah. Finding a weakness and exploiting it, and he never went away from it. He never got too cute to where it's like, well, why would I stop running inside zone? Like, I don't, they can't stop it. Exactly. He called probably 5 plays.
And Dolchich, I mean, the tight end. I mean, it was like, you guys aren't going to, I mean, Mike Jones, all I've heard about Mike Jones all season long is his ability to cover, and he can't get on the field with a guy like Dolchich in playing.
I just want to,
but you know, I don't even understand that with that situation, man. Like, you seen what the kid can do. Like, you've seen him play.
Right.
You feel me? Like, you've seen him play.
And we're talking about Mike Jones. We're not talking about Dolchich. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You've seen him
100%.
play. Like, my thing is, like,
he's been there a month and a half. He's been on the field. I mean,
what you've seen him play.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. Yeah, you got film on the boy. You know the boy could play. You know one of his things is the cover. So even if I don't know where he is in the maturation of the defense and all that, but even if he's not up to speed, you cover him.
Right. Yes.
Recess.
Yes. Absolutely.
Let me at least see.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let me at least see.
Run with him. Wherever he goes, you follow him.
Don't worry about nothing else. All I'm putting you out here to do is follow him.
Yeah.
The big boy that's killing us. Follow him.
Right.
Take care of him right quick.
Right.
We're going to box him, one him. You know
let's
what I mean?
just see if he can play.
That's my point.
Like, I mean,
they were throwing everything else against the wall. Do you think that this is more of a problem with LSU trying to fit players into a scheme as opposed to using the players they have and using their strengths? Because they put that 4-2-5 out there and just stuck with it.
Listen,
like, this is what we're going to run.
You know, I honestly don't, because I don't know where they are in the maturation defensively. You know what I mean? Of these guys. But yes, it does seem like they're trying to force these guys to play.
He wants 4 down linemen out there.
Yeah, he does, and that like if you don't have it for that scheme, you can't run it, man. It's the same thing we're doing with Bo Pelini. If you don't have it for that scheme, you can't run it. And you would think that 2 years in that you would at least have gone through that already and have a different game plan going into it. Now, like I said, you can at least see that the guys are a little bit better coached, but still, all in all, you're still 5 yards, 10 yards away from a tight end that's running, and you still letting a 6'5", 250-pound tight end go 75 yards.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I don't care how talented he is. That's a problem.
Yeah. Rohan Davey with us here in studio. How good is Kayshon Boutte? How good
he could
is
possibly be the best receiver. He's one of the best receivers. He is that kid. Something's wrong with that kid.
I mean, it couldn't.
I ain't lying.
It couldn't bring him down.
Something wrong with that kid, man. He was the only, like, in my opinion, and not just him, but he was the only real standout dog Saturday for me. Like, he was the one, and he was getting double covered. They kept that, and I know that was why part of the reason we stayed in that 3-by-1 so long is because it really defined what they were doing. It defined that they had the safety over top of Kayshon, and those other guys were supposed to go to work. But man, if you're playing off and they're double teaming this guy, if we would have just kept getting the ball out quick, throw a little screen, like every time he got the ball out of his hand quick was a completion, and they run after catch. These guys are run after catch receivers.
Right.
They're not guys that's going
possession.
No, these are run after catch. These guys,
playmakers.
You got a punt returner. Boutte also is a punt returner. Like, all these guys are explosive players, man. You got to get it out of his hands quick and get it to him, especially right now early in the season. If you did that the second half of the football game and pound the football, you win the football game, I think.
You saw especially early with what they were trying to do on offense, where they would have Ty Davis Price come in motion to help declare and help see where where the defense would line up, as opposed to where the running back was if it was man or zone. But then LSU got out of that. Is that simply because they had to bring him in to block? And what do you think about Pete's getting the play in so late and not giving Johnson the ability to kind of look at it?
Why was the play clock getting so low down on the...
It's the same thing we're talking about. It's new for him, too. It's him adjusting as well. It's him trying to figure out the right call. It's all that. It's definitely all that. We think that the coaches aren't immune to any of that. They're not immune to...
Oh shit!
3-ball-1, stay 3-ball-1.
What's your third down call?
Exactly,
Jake, what's your third down call?
Right.
We're
punting.
I'm serious. That's the difference, man. That's the difference between the great ones. And, some of these coaches are evolving. They're just getting into their stride. So you may be conceptually and through thus far, climbing a ladder, and Coach Pease is I think a really good offensive-minded coach. But he's still in the mix of where he's proving himself. He's still taking steps to prove himself and improve himself, and this is a new thing for him. So let's see, And thus far, that one note that he ain't passed the test last week. He ain't passed the test Saturday.
How do you manage the reps the next couple of weeks between Nussmeier and Johnson? Obviously, Johnson's got to have them. Yeah,
Johnson gets the reps. It's no you with him. He's there. That's your quarterback. You don't just now pull him out because that was coaching. You don't just pull him out now. He didn't play. If I had to grade him on the game, I say he played a C game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
C minus.
Right.
Just because of all the little things that I saw within the game that he just did not play well. Period. He just did not, and I'm sure he would say the same thing based on the little intricacies of the game that he has to control. So, and it's being a young quarterback, the situation wasn't too big for him.
Right.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He just didn't play well.
Yeah.
That was it.
When did you become comfortable as a starter? When did you recognize pre-snap blitzes? When did you recognize in the pocket that they're coming and I'm good?
Not till my junior year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Not till my junior year. He's a smart kid. He's definitely way ahead from where I was. That's, you know what I mean? He's far, far where I am. How he came up, coach's son in football and embezzling football. So he's far ahead, Jay. He's far ahead. But he just has to do the little things that changes the outcome. Picking up that first down changes momentum. It changes field position. You have to get those guys feeling good, man. He has to get those guys feeling good about his play, feeling good about his decision-making. Football and playing the quarterback position is all about decision-making, and he has to get better at his decision-making. Even balls that was like underthrown, the go route that he threw to Trey Palmer, that was a PI.
Yeah.
Got to push that out a little when he's holding them a little too long.
Kayshawn broke off the line one time and he clicked it two times.
These guys can run.
Yeah.
Like, you got to let that out. Got to just settle down. And he's going to. He's going to be a good football player.
I agree. Besh, Thomas, and Hilton all make catches.
Yep.
I thought they got away from Besh and Thomas a little bit. I mean, both those guys, you could see it. They were eager for the ball. What did you make of the young wide receivers?
Well, they played great. They played great. Ball came to them, they caught. That's, part of what, listen, man, and I know I'm harping on the quarterback a lot, but it's because that's the engine. That's what makes it go offensively. And you saw Max lock in on one.
Yeah.
You saw him lock in, and that's part of the maturation. He's comfortable with him. They threw together, when he wasn't the starter, when Kayshawn wasn't the starter. So they're definitely comfortable in a sync with, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But he has to understand that a Brian, Besh, these guys are next. You know what I mean? Like, here, there's no, Kayshawn's a one, but all these guys are possibly ones later. You know what I mean? So it's not a drop-off of far as catching the ball and making plays and things of that nature. So he just has to, it's the same thing I see on defense. He just has to trust the rest of them a little bit more. Probably not the same way you trust Kayshawn, because as a quarterback, you always have that guy that you just know that's your guy, but you can't force it to him. You can't stare him down. That's the other thing. He locked in too. He locked in, no head movements during the course of the football game. Just locked in, and
staring
that's what.
Him down.
Yeah, staring him down a bunch, and all that's going to improve.
What's your level of concern around the leadership of this program right now?
Man, I'm really I'm concerned that we didn't see nothing change throughout the course of the game. Not like nothing glaring to. Let's make an effort to change the trajectory of where things are going. Like UCLA, in my opinion, was comfortably whooping our behind the whole game. Honestly,
they felt like that it was their game.
They dictated the game plan. They dictated tempo. They dictated the way the game went.
It never felt like
LSU had any momentum or any control.
Right. It never felt that way. It felt like they were the favorites by
the whole
15.
Time. Yeah.
It did. It never felt like we're gonna do something to turn or come back, or even what they were doing was a fluke. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you was catching bombs and no one's around, they falling down. Like, they're hitting holes, they're pulling, they're creating holes, they're creating separations, they're scheming. Like, they did everything that we would have hoped to do offensively coming into this game with the new OC, with the new defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? You were expecting to see just something a little bit different. And even if just what is going to be different about you guys, what are you going to bring to the table different than what we saw last year? And for me, last year when we saw things going in one direction, it stayed in that direction. It was the same thing I saw Saturday when offensively was stagnant and we weren't doing anything. Like, we didn't try to change. We didn't have like a backup. Okay, well, let's go ahead and bring this in and tighten this up and let's ground and pound and play action and we have these receivers. Like, to me, it's not really that hard for you to say, let me switch to something else. This hasn't worked for 3 quarters. At least let me come out of halftime with something else. Let me go in a no huddle. Let me do something to change what's going on.
Get tempo, get him in a rhythm.
Yeah, you never saw that, man. You never saw that.
It's concerning to see that when you look at the same things that haunted this program a year ago, the same things happen. Did you have a chance to watch college football this weekend?
I watched a little.
Yeah. Did you see Bryce Young?
Yeah. I told you about Bryce Young.
I know you did, bro. He's the best one he's had.
I know.
He looks so smooth. We were out in L.A., and that's his spot. His career, you know what I mean? Everybody was talking about that.
Nah, he's a monster, man. I said that when I saw him come in and when they picked him up, because I've been seeing that kid since Elite 11. And the one thing that the kid does not lack for, and you can't lack for at that position, I don't care what happens to that boy.
Confidence.
His confidence never wavers, dude. And he knows he's a monster.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about him. You know who I compare him to, but just a farly better passer of the football is Cam. I think his size is like Cam.
He's that big?
Yeah, that kid big.
You say he's 6'1", 195.
He big. Big old boy.
Shit.
Good God.
That corner route he threw for the 95-yarder was
first
so fun. How he looked at Mechie the whole time, and everybody's biting on Mechie, and he drops it to that backside cat.
You, man. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, you see that.
Eye manipulation.
That's all it's about. That's all I teach is 7-on-7 with the quarterbacks. You got to be able to, and a lot of people think you don't even have to stare them down.
Yeah.
It's just stopping them from taking that first step in
Tilt
that direction.
head.
That's it. All you want him to do is pause for a half a second. Because that half a second, he can't get there. It's unless you damn Deion Sanders or Sean Taylor, but you can't get there. Or the Honey Badger, you can't get there. You know what I mean?
When you look at the LSU offensive line, how do you fix it? It seemed like it was irreparable damage. Especially you wanted to see him run.
The first thing they got to do with that line is take all of them big guys that got towels on their side and on their behind, take it off of them, except for the center. He's the only one that needs.
You're talking about because they want to look good.
Yeah, they are not. They are not.
They're not skill players.
Yeah, you are road graders, man. I been seeing them out there with the short
spat tape.
Man, you are a road grader, man. I want the Stephen Petermans. I want them, man. I want the Fanatic. I want them boys that don't care about my wristbands and my, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you in this mud, man. This is where we get it out this mud. I don't care nothing about that. And we gonna have steak dinners on Tuesday. That's the mentality they need to get in. It's just too much of this, man. It's too soft. It's too soft. That's why we couldn't run the ball. Now, listen, like I said, everybody was on them about they pass. I think they pass protect decent compared to being blitzed as much times as they was being blitzed. Yeah. I think they did a damn good job of
they're outnumbered.
Of course, and that's why I said that, Mac, see, when you blitzing them, it's not just them picking it up. There's always going to be somebody free. Yeah. When they bring in 4 off of the side, you can only if you're in a 6-man protection and they bring 7, one's going to be free. You know what I mean? So it's up to, that's why the quarterback and the run and the offensive line got to be in sync. One's going to be free. I got to be looking to that right side. I have to identify the right man, and my the receiver has to break it off correctly. And they were doing that consistently. The wide receivers were doing that consistently throughout the night. We just weren't going to the right side.
Mm-hmm. So great teaching opportunities on this film.
No doubt. This is a great tape for everybody offensively, coaches, Max, the offensive line, like all of them. We just couldn't move anybody, man. We couldn't move anybody running the football.
It seems like they don't really trust the running backs out the backfield to be
able to
they
didn't trust the ones on Saturday.
Yeah, to be able to throw the ball for them.
No Goodwin, no Kiner. Emery's not dressed. I mean, people are looking in the media guide to find out who 27 is, and that's no disrespect to him.
No, right.
When you're talking about all camp, about guys like TDP and John Emery and Corey Kiner and Armani Goodwin. I mean, and then you get to the first game and those guys aren't there. It's where is the run game? Where is the threat out of the backfield? That's
what I'm saying, because when they bring all this pressure, what's the easiest thing to call? Is a screen or just a little swing pass that you can dip off, let them come at you and flip it over their head. And it seemed like LSU had a plan to, because they didn't trust the guy to catch the ball. Could you bring in like
this is the thing. It's coaching, man. Like, dog, everybody talking about you got all these running backs. These running backs, you recruited them, you gave them a scholarship. They're all different kinds of running backs. Dog, they can catch.
Right.
They can run. You understand what I'm saying? They just didn't come here and now they can't run or catch.
Got to put them in a position to succeed.
You got to put them in the position. You got to make a commitment to them. Put them in and say, do it.
Yeah.
Just put them in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what they came here for. They came here to play football. Like, that, give them the opportunity to do what you brought them here to do. Or give them the opportunity to show you that they can't do it. It's not practice. Practice is not where you judge players. You get your time and how you play far as like where you are in the pecking order in practice. But in the game, if I got a back that's 4th on the depth chart, but something happens with number 1 and now I have to put him in the football game and he has done nothing in practice, but he's flashing like crazy in the game, he's going to move up.
Make a coaching decision.
Yeah, he's going to move up. He's going to be, well, you know what? This kid loves the lights or something. It's something about the kid that he turns up when the lights come on. Yeah. So I'm going to give him the opportunity to at least see. That's why last year when we were losing and we weren't playing, we didn't start playing the rookies or freshmen until like late in the season. That's why I was like, from the beginning of the season, the season wasn't going to be nothing. Play everybody. Play them in game situations. See how they react. See how they don't react. See if this 5-star really can do it. Yeah, you got to do it, especially when you have the opportunity and nothing's on the line. Last year was a mulligan season. That's why now you know how Elias Ricks is going to play. You know how these guys now are going to. That's why you had so much promise coming into the year, because you played them guys late and you found out what they were. But if you play them all the way early, offensive, play everybody, man. Yeah. If we lose 3 more games this season, play everybody.
Yeah. When you see what they did in 2019 with the offense and bringing wide receivers into the backfield, which I thought was something that was very, intuitive, because you can then use them in different ways. It creates a multitude of matchups. Do you see them maybe moving toward that? Because there's reports of Butte lining up in the backfield in practice.
Just get him the ball.
And get him just to be able to get him out in space, because if they're going to blitz like that, because that seems to be the game plan now. If you watch that tape, every defensive coordinator is going to. So is there a way to get a wide receiver back there just so you?
I mean, you don't even have to. That could be part of a game plan. That could be part of it. But this is my thing with it. You can throw other screens. You know what I mean? You can throw screens to the running back. I'm sure all of them have caught over 100 screens in the history of them playing their football throughout their life. Talking about they can't catch. They can catch screens. The same receivers we talking about could catch bubble screens. They could catch radar, lava, the same stuff Josh Reed used to catch. They're faster than him. Like it's on the coaches, man. It's on them to figure this shit out. It's not on the players to say, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this. Because that's what's going to happen. Players are going to start trying to do too much. Because we're not now in this position. We know that they're blitzing and they're not doing this. We're not doing that. Because these players nowadays, this is what it's going to. This is how they talk. This is how they're very in tune and they're very smart. Keyshawn Boutte is a very intelligent football player, even though he's a young guy. These guys know football. You don't think these running backs know the running back position if they listen to Kevin Falk? You don't think these defensive ends know what the heck to do? You got Andre Carter putting clothes on, putting his uniforms on to go out there and show you reps. So this is what I'm saying. It's not like these coaches, and I know I've been hitting, it's not like they're not coaching. It's not like they're not putting the time in, spending the time. It's not for lack of time. Right now it's for lack of change of philosophy. Have me another plan going into it when it's not going right. The first game is tough, man. It's tough when you play the game, when you play the team that's already played, and a talented UCLA team with a damn Chip Kelly.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, at one, like I said on Saturday, at some point you got to give UCLA credit. Man, they should beat LSU up. They out-schemed them, and they outplanned. They were better prepared than them.
They were.
And you got Oregon going up against Ohio State week 3. I mean, the Pac-12 could be
looking good.
Yeah. Oregon didn't look good again. Didn't look good week 1. You could have a Pac-12 championship at UCLA.
Yeah.
We saw Ricky Collins play the Jamboree,
yeah,
which they came back and won that game at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was out in L.A. on Friday. Jack and Noah went to Lafayette and watched Walker Howard take on Madison Prep, which looked like an instant classic. Prep wins the game at the buzzer.
They're tough,
on a field goal. Walker looked like he got a little banged up, but he made every single throw. He made every play.
He throws such a catchable ball. He throws such a catchable ball. He can read the line of scrimmage so well. It's what you were talking about, Max.
Yeah.
He can see it at the high school level. It's just like, I know I'm calling protection. I'm calling out of this. He can read when to jump. Very Brady. You know how Brady's so good at just going for something. Yeah, probably 3 of them. I know he lost one of his receivers with strep throat.
He doesn't have any receivers, though.
Dropping balls.
He doesn't have any receivers.
No, he has no threats.
He has no receivers, and that's not a knock on the kids that's there. But look what left. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly. He has legs.
No, the boy can move. The boy is a player, man.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, the boy could play.
Yeah.
And that's I think to me that's the underrated thing about Walker. I mean, Walker's a 4'6" guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a 4'6",
no, we read his testing
guy.
numbers off when he tested it at St. Thomas More. We were like, "Holy shit!"
39-inch vertical.
4'6". He's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. And the biggest, to your point, you're right. He understands when to make all the throws. Like, he understands trajectory. He understands placement. He's so accurate, dude. He's a monster, man.
He threw a fourth quarter touchdown, that one you guys posted on social media, where he's about at the 30-yard line and he drops a seam route. Like, I mean, it's a seed. The ball is never 12 feet off the ground, and I mean, it hits the guy on a dead run in his ear hole.
You know what I tell you about that boy? Throw it through a car wash. Don't get wet, baby.
I mean, dude, zips it.
I still love us.
Zips
seven on Madison Prep. That kid is so.
Your boy.
Oh my God, that kid's a dog.
I love that guy.
Hey,
Don, what is it? Danny.
Dave.
You get ripped up by Dave.
Dave is a dog.
Dave is a monster.
Dave is a dog. Number 7 for Madison Prep.
For y'all that don't know Dave. Dave is a defensive back.
Do we know his last name? Because I want to give him the round of...
We're going to get Dave on here, baby.
Yes.
We're going to get that boy on here.
Yes.
Listen, Dave's biggest thing about him, though, man, is he's a super athlete, super competitive, and all that.
Slippery, man.
But that kid is, when he hits you...
Oh. He came up and had Ricky on that first. Yeah,
he gonna kill Ricky. Hey, boy's like a time. I mean, he just explodes, baby.
I call him Baby Honey Badger.
He kind of is.
That's who he loves.
Well,
too.
He's tough like that. Like he come up and hit. He don't hit the ground.
No.
He stays up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he gets up. He's always chopping and barking and.
It was fourth quarter with under a minute left. He had a corner out and he smoked And I'm like, well, this kid's dead, and he just pops up and let's go. He's Johnson. Oh my god!
I mean, he is an animal. He's an. I love 7. And look, Quincy's bringing everybody to the game, and rightfully so. I mean, 2 looks like the number 1 pick in the NFL. But when you start watching prep and you start digging in their roster, they got dogs everywhere. Man, yeah. They do.
The linebacker's good.
Yeah, the middle's good. That defense good.
They wear you down. That defense is
because man, you can't stop Z.
The quarterback.
Yeah,
he always falls forward.
Yeah,
always falls forward, and then he's such an
and
athlete.
Makes the play when the play has to be made. He makes it.
He's a play.
Yeah,
he makes it.
It's over.
Big week for McNeese. Big week for Micah Davey.
Big week. It coming downhill.
What's that like? When you're playing for a school like McNeese and you see LSU struggling, that gives you a sense of. I mean, they probably have some bounce in them this week, huh?
Either has some bounce or be like, oh hell.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long night.
Right. That's right.
Kill his own son.
That's right. You're probably right.
Them, they got their own issues. You know, they lost a close one last week, so they're coming. They have some things that they have to improve on. Ogeron's boy played well. He had a good game. But they have some things they got to tighten up on defense, man, and the offensive line. They got to tighten up a little bit. So it'll be interesting. They have some things to work on. I think Frank's doing a good job, definitely. But they got some things that they got to work on down there. Their first game.
Roe will be back later in the week. We'll start to preview that matchup. We'll have a plan on Saturday. Stick around after. I got some presents for you that I picked up over in California that I will show you. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for everybody for being out there today. Make sure and like, comment, and share on the post. We will be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We're going to talk to Frank Wilson at 7:30 tomorrow morning, so we'll get a preview from head coach for McNeese on the Cowboys as they make their way to Baton Rouge on Saturday. Thank you for being out there. Go Chevrolet drives us every day. For Rohan and for Derek Stingley Sr., Jordy Collada, Jack, and Lloyd signing off on this Monday. We'll talk to you at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.